What's going on, Paisan? I am Danny Sess. This is Sess Says Max Effort. We're back. Episode 21. We got a really good group today in this post-contest window. We got Matt, Jasper, Max, and Gilly the Kid. Let's get into it, boys. You know, I think all three of you had amazing results. Actually, Gil, you got posted as like the poster boy for the next Max Effort Shred contest, but I think we can go around first and just kind of talk about your own results, what you saw, and because I think all three of you had, like, if either one of you were the winner, it wouldn't surprise me. But maybe Matt, you want to start with your results, how everything went?
It went good. I mean, down just I didn't make 40 pounds. I was 39.4. Went well. I think Mason might have said something similar, but I almost let myself go too much over the last year, and I felt like it was too deep of a hole to dig out of to where I really wanted to be. Not to mention, like, I started day one, so I started January 1st, and I felt like the people who did that almost had a little bit of a disadvantage. And you know, G doesn't post in the it was his app. He doesn't post the peak week, the updated peak week stuff until, like, I was done. I think I was 3 days done, and he's like, "Oh, here's the updated." Like, I'm going back watching the old videos, like starving myself, you know. Like, I didn't carb load like the day or two before to like really look good. So honestly, I screwed up the picture day. I took pictures that morning, felt flat as can be. I did the whole Oreo thing, but I didn't wait long enough.
Yeah.
So the pictures I've been using and posting, they were from 6:15 p.m. that evening, that Wednesday, where I had eaten, honestly, like 7 pounds of food. So I couldn't, like, I looked pretty like good upper body, but I couldn't tighten my abs to save my life. So 7 pounds of food sitting in your belly when you hadn't eaten much in a few days. Honestly, I feel like if I were to end, like, if I took my shirt off right now, like, just give me the keys. You know, like,
like, you do the whole contest being like a certain way, and then like the last couple of days they're like, you know, cutting out all carbohydrates, and then you're taking these photos and you just don't look as good. I know Brian is like one of my favorite guys here. He's talked about that, and he's like, I'm not really doing a peak week. I want to keep my sodium where it is. I want to keep my carbs where they are. So I'm sorry to hear you felt like that, Matt, but what would be the advice to stay in what you've been doing, or what do you think?
I mean, honestly, so, you know, I'm getting ready for the show. I'm 2 weeks out from that. And like I said, I feel like I could step on stage tomorrow, and it was just, I'm still having a bunch of sodium, you know, still having carbs. I feel fuller. I'm more vascular. So it was poor timing, honestly. You know, I looked good when I took the pictures that night because I had a bunch of carbs during the day and I ate. I was too flat. And so, the pictures that morning, I don't know if I just didn't give Oreos enough time, because it's kind of a delicate line. Like, when you're doing these things, you need enough carbs and that sugar and everything to get that fullness back in the muscles, but you can't be too full to where you can't flex your abs. So that's where honestly, I had like 7 cookies. I ate the whole package of Oreos. I had, I think, 2 pounds of ground beef, 2 sweet potatoes, 2 bags of green beef. Like, I had eaten, and then a bunch of these like protein, like no bake like bites. So I had eaten all of this stuff, and then within a half hour of eating these 7 like peanut butter cookies, I'm going and taking like the photos I used for the end. Like, you know, it was just poor timing. Like, you know, again, maybe I should have started with carbs earlier. I should have had them the day or two before, like G had posted, but I was part of that group that wasn't going to wait. It was day one, you know?
You know what? And shout out to my boy Steve, who like kept posting on the app, like, hey, like, G, can we get an updated peak week video? He's like, I got to look into it. So I felt like that was a little, like, he could have done it in like 5 minutes or whatever. Maybe Gil or Max, you want to take it next? Like, because I thought both you guys had really nice photos that you posted.
Yeah, go ahead, Max.
I had a kind of a similar approach to what Matt had. I did the 3 days of pretty low carb, probably 50, 60 carbs. I think that was day 65 through 68. Or maybe 68 and 69, I went up to 200 carbs a day with some sweet potatoes and bananas. Felt fantastic. Actually took some pictures those days. Felt more full. Pictures actually looked better, in my opinion, those 2 days. And I took the pictures that I submitted that morning, day 70. Before I had anything to eat, we just went up. I got a quick pump at the gym, took the photos, came back home, did another little pump. I don't know if there's the lighting or the mistiming of, I did rice cakes and honey. I had a whole sleeve of rice cakes and some hot honey. Took some pictures, felt good, but my wife was even like, the ones you took at the gym are definitely superior than the ones you took at home.
Yeah.
So at the timing of everything, that's something you probably have to mess with more than once, because you put all this work in the 69 days, and I don't know, it's kind of an experiment. You got to figure out one way or the other. So.
And I like you said, you're running them by your wife and stuff. It's nice to have like that support and cast at home, because like everybody seems like, I don't know, my wife liked this one, I like this one. Like, what do you guys think? Like, and that's another, benefit of the group. So yeah, it's a fun thing, but it's like frustrating in the sense too. Gail, what about you?
Man, I mean, we're all super critical of ourselves
Definitely.
and we're hard on ourselves and stuff. But I mean, y'all looked amazing, dude. So, I mean, but obviously we had those things in our mind where it's like, just this much more, that, one more step, or, a little bit, we're always fighting with that. So, my process was like, so I struggled a lot during the whole contest. I felt like I struggled a lot. I mean, I just had a lot of stuff going on. Matt was on the school app, so some of the stuff I had going on was like trying to increase my business output, I was trying to do the full circle thing. And so I felt like I was behind a lot in just not getting on a rhythm. And then plus I got like real sick for 2 weeks. And so I was just getting hit with everything. But the one thing I would say this year that made all the difference was the nutrition side. Especially when I was sick, or in my Bible study group, they're always bringing food. And so like there were some days where we went to Bible study, and like my wife and I were fighting out the wazoo on the way there. So it was like we had like this stress, and I'm like, ooh, cookies or pizza, whatever they had there. But I told myself, I was like, you know what, this is where, that one cookie and that one pizza is going to screw me in the end of my picture. So I would tough it out, either do an extended fast till the next, day, or I would take some sweet potatoes with me and snack on that with whatever protein they had. And, but anyways, fast forward, in 24, I felt like for the Cadillac that I was more like a lower body fat percentage, but, to talk about the timing of like the peak week. My carb sits on top. If I can overload carbs very easily, even being lean. And so I found that out in 24 when I just like that morning I went all in with like donuts, some leftover pizza, soup. I mean, I just was like over. And then so when I looked at the final pictures, it was like right on top of the muscle, under the skin, like it just was fluffy. And so my pictures were just terrible. And then my location was terrible. It didn't come together. And so my biggest takeaway was focused on the peak week. I started a week and a half out, almost 2 weeks out, and, overloaded the distilled water, 2 gallons a day. I don't know why, but I guess I was just used to this. I don't use a lot of sodium. So I was basically like no sodium at all. No salt, nothing. That was just probably a little bit of mustard sometimes. So less than 100 grams of sodium. And I meant to taper off, but I actually just went cold turkey, and I was like, oh, whatever, dude. So, switched to MCT oil, started doing sweet potatoes only. And then I was doing busy diet. And, Honestly, the morning of pictures, Dalton had mentioned to me, dude, you need to pick your spot. You need to know where you're going to go. You need to know the poses you're going to do, you know? And so I was like, okay, cool. So for like 2 weeks, I was coming early to the gym, super early, and just like picking out different spots, doing little pose shoots and photo shoots, and just like trying to find the perfect spot. And then so the morning of, I went, took the photos. This time I just did like a little bite of Debbie cake and a little bite of pecan pie, and then a little bit of pickle juice. And I just sat on that for like 30 minutes while I did some pump stuff. And I guess, I mean, I felt good, took the photos, found my spot. And then I was getting really critical, you know, I was just like, man, whatever, you know, if I get top 100, that'd be great. Or, you know, I could learn from this, and next year it'll be, you know, I'll place. And I was like already preparing myself for just like this, you know, I did good, but I just don't think you know, some of these other, and I was seeing Matt's intro, because they were a little days before me, Brian's. And I was like, dude, there's no fucking way, man. These guys look great. Like, there's just no way. I don't feel, there's no, whatever. I did good. I'll accept it. And then next year.
And I think you said, starting this off, like, we're all so critical of ourselves, you know, doing all this. Like, we all strive for that perfection, but like perfection doesn't exist. Like having a cookie along the contest. Like Billy at one point was like, like I'm done with the contest. Like I had cheese curds.
Dude, and Billy, I was like, fuck, man, Billy looks like a fucking, like, what the hell is going on here? So, but no, I sat in my truck and I was picking out my pictures, and I was like, and it just clicked in my head, and I was like, I wanted to stay humble in my thoughts, because I don't like to, you know, I don't want to get not humble, you know, I don't want to get stupid and saying like, oh, hey, I look good. But man, I sat in my truck and I was going over the photos, and I'm like, dude, I must have timed something really, really well with this peak week, because all of a sudden, like, I feel like I can be in there. You know what I mean? The competitive side came out of me, and I'm like, I like, we're gonna push for this thing, and it's gonna be someone in the group, but okay. I was like, we got something to work with here. So
I will say, I think you get the best award for lighting setup. Like you had a really good job. I really like to see how people like do their setup. You know, like some people are in the kitchen, some people are in the gym. Some people, I feel like the lighting could be better. You know, like I'm always curious to see like how people set it up. Like everyone always usually has a flag behind them. Max, I thought you posted some really cool photos with your kids. You know, like that type of stuff behind the scenes, I think is so cool. Like Steve had, you know, his wife and the dogs and stuff. Like, I think those moments, like I have a photo right next to me from last year, like when I won. I have like my son in my arm, you know, like that means so much to me. And I think everyone should have like that moment, like sitting with them, because the hard work is the 70 days, like dieting every single day, like going through the struggle. And now it's fun. Like take a photo, like flex, like be with your family. That's so important.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I feel like the contest went really fast. Like maybe this group was a big help in all of that. But now we're in this like post-contest window. So it transitions to, I was going 100, maybe 120%, you know, like now what? You know, like I'm in a little bit of limbo. Matt, I think maybe we could kick it off with you. You have your show. So I think it's been, maybe easy is not the right word, but like you've been able to stay locked in. But maybe for you, it'll happen like after the show. Like any guidance on how you're going to stay locked in at that point?
I think like what they were talking about in that Gcast the other day is just continuing to have things to look forward to, you know, continue to have dates on the calendar. So for me, it was, like I said, before my pictures, I ate all that food. My wife and I, like you guys were talking about, were looking over the morning pictures, and I just wasn't happy. She's like, well, what do you look like now? You know, that's where I went and took the pictures at 6:15. So I had that support, but we celebrated that night. We did after I retook the pictures, we were all doing family ice cream. And it was right back to it the next day. You know, nothing changes. So it's just because I had that date locked in. I knew after the contest I was 5 weeks out ish. So it was all right. How did I do? what did I learn? You know, again, I mistime things. So how do I do better for my actual show, which unfortunately isn't giving away a car, but you know, I want to be better because it's the competition, me versus me. What can I do better this time? So I had 5 weeks to lock in and get better.
Yeah.
So having that date, having the Muscle Island date, even after that, to just not let myself go. After that, it'll be interesting. You know, after that, it's okay. What's the next date? I don't have one, but yeah, I'll definitely have a goal. I want to see how this competition goes here in 2 weeks, and who knows.
Very cool. And Matt, you know, I don't think you get enough credit on Instagram. I think you do a really amazing job between motivational posts and, you know, fireside chats with Matt, you know, showing some of your clients off. I really appreciate that type of stuff because like you're a machine, you're like made for this, but it's nice to see like other people you're helping get to those results too. So I love that stuff, man.
Appreciate that. I don't really like the whole social media game, but I know it's the necessary evil of today's world. So in trying to promote what Billy and I started here, literally like 3 days before my final pictures, we started a meal prep company.
Yep.
You know, doing the personal training thing. So it's like, I know I need to do those things. And sometimes I have fun doing it. Sometimes it feels like a chore, but I've been trying to make it more of a priority here. And I think part of that is the confidence you gain in what you've accomplished with your own results, you know, like we've talked about before, but you know, set the tone with your health and fitness and it sets the tone for the rest of your life. And you just feel better and everything else starts firing and clicking and everything's going. So
yeah,
3 miles an hour right now.
Yeah. There's like the old gym saying, like first they make fun of you, then they ask you for advice. So like you know, people are always going to be like, this guy and then they're like, whoa, well, maybe we should get that. Did you see how he looks like? Yeah, Max, what about you? Or after the contest, were you like in no man's land or you were just like motivated?
Nothing really changed for me. I had, I think, 2 or 3 days where I kind of settled some cravings for some nachos, some pizza, you know, some ice cream and stuff like that. But for the most part, nothing. I had those 3 days, and Friday and Saturdays I'll have some cheats. But it's mostly, you know, like ice cream and Oreos and stuff. Nothing too crazy.
Sure.
And trying to keep a date on the calendar. We've got a trip planned to a water park at the end of the month. Got to stay in shape for that. And then we got Muscle Island June 28th. Thinking about doing a Spartan race at Perfect North in Indiana sometime in June as well. So that'll be a little bit different stimulus to train for.
Yeah.
Haven't done one of those in 10 years. So
yeah, that's cool. I mean, like just like all these different challenges that we like pose to ourselves, like you can do it. Like it's something a little bit outside of your comfort zone. You know, G has talked about these like road to Muscle Island stuff. So one of them is like heavy deadlifts. Like I'm not going to do heavy deadlifts. You know, I can't compete with some of the big dogs out there, but like pull-ups or something would be like something interesting for me. I've never just like done pull-ups every single day to try to get better, or like whatever the bench for 135.
Yeah, bench reps is going to be insane.
Like he said, somebody had commented like, what are the rules? And he's like, I'll go over it on Monday. And I was very excited for that on the mini cast, but they didn't really get into it just yet. I think maybe they're still working on it, but I think it's very interesting, you know, like to sign up and focus on like one event over the next 12 weeks, because I've never done anything where I'm like competing against somebody in a muscle building, you know, like, you know, combine style challenge. So it's cool. It's different. It's something to change your workup up a little bit. You know, I've been doing the Get Stacked since this group chat started in whatever, October or something. So for me, you know, once I get through the contest, I want to be doing maybe like the pump 30s and stuff like that. So it might be a good transition for me to be focusing on like, all right, and every single day I'll do like my 135, you know, see what I can do. Yeah. What about you? Any change after the contest?
No, man, just keep on it. I feel motivated, and you know, I didn't cheat. Like I said, my nutrition was locked in. That was my main consistent throughout the whole contest. So I didn't want to end the contest and go, you know, some guys went all in like pizzas and all. I still haven't had pizza, and honestly, I'm contemplating, like, I just don't think that I'm ever gonna get it. Like I said, the bread stuff is completely gone. I'm just motivated to keep it going with the sweet potatoes and the beef. I am doing AF 102, 101 ish, but I'm peppering in some longer fasting days. 24 hours, 20 hours.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing some. It's all modified how I feel right now. I'm moving off of how I feel as far as my diet. It's and then implementing the fasting, and obviously the June 28th. Like, I want to come in super locked in, so even more, I guess. And then like you said, my what I'm looking forward to is the bench for reps contest. Like, I've always had buddies that can like outlift me in weight that I've worked out with, but then I'm always like, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm like, let's throw 135 on there and let's do some sets of 20 or some sets of 30. And they're just like, bro, I'm not gonna do a set of 20. And I'm like, come on, let's go. So that's actually one of my I like to compete with that. Like, how can we get 135? How many times? Like, let's shoot for 100 is the next.
Like, I always felt like, in the morning of or something, like, we do like a draft. You have like a captain for like two different teams, and we'll do like a lunge, not relay race, but just race, So it's like, all right, one time around each person, and whatever team finishes first, because no one really knows how fast other people are. You see their times online, but I don't know. I think that'd be very interesting. Like a race.
I'm cool with the lunge race.
Yeah, but it's like
I want to be on Darren's team.
Yeah, Darren's flying.
Dude, that guy's hustling.
Like,
that's all I'm trying to catch is Darren. I'm like, come on, 7 minutes. Like, try it.
Yeah,
like, I can't move my legs fast enough.
Maybe he's a captain. I don't know. Yeah, but I think stuff like that is like very different. Stuff like that we all relate to, and like we can all do together and stuff like that. But I'm like so excited for that trip. That's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and I wanted to ask, what day are you on, and how's your thing going? How's your contest going for you so far?
Yeah, so I'm on day 65. I told you I had like some stomach issues that I was like dealing with my doctor and stuff. This definitely has not been my all-in type of contest, but I've done the get stacked the whole time. I've done the diet really well. I've just tried not to drive my family too crazy and stuff. Last year, winning, I think, took a little bit of the sweetness for me. I just wanted to be one of the guys and make sure I'm doing all my work. And I've definitely been very motivated by this group to wake up every day and go do it. So I'm heading into my peak week, and I'm going to actually do like a 2-day fast this week and see what happens. Tony had started that idea with me. And, I know Billy had done a fast during the contest. I bought some of the like bone broth things to try and just have in my back pocket in case I get like really hungry along the way. But, and then G, he had talked about it on the minicast where he was like trying to do like a 3-day thing.
Yeah.
Like 40 hours. So I feel like now I'm in like the follower category, but I had this all lined up. I swear. Ask Billy. I was texting him last week about it. But yeah, I'm gonna try that this year, because I think, just to Matt's point, the peak week stuff is so hard, and then you only do it once a year. So like, who knows how the body's gonna react unless you're doing this like every 4 or 5 months and know this is the exact way my body reacts. I've done this 10 times. Who knows? I'm just having fun with this year. Who knows? I appreciate you asking though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. My wife's like, you're not going to eat for a couple of days. I was like, it's fine. The humans are evolved to be okay.
That's right.
She's like, I used to think you were crazy, but now I have to like check you into a mental facility. No, it's okay. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. But yeah, definitely motivated. Definitely looking forward to getting into more of like the pump 30 stuff. But yeah, everything is good, man. Diet will probably stay the same after this too, just like keep moving forward. I feel really good about stuff. And I think that's the important part.
Yeah. It's definitely got to stay the same. I mean, it's not even summer yet. So
yeah,
it almost feels like summer's over because the contest is over, but it's like, dude, I still got June, July.
It's been started, man.
August, like I live in Texas. I gotta look good all the way through October, and then I can start backing off and enjoying some of the food. So,
well, that's the nice part about summer is like the date on the calendar is like Saturday, because it's like every week I have a date on the calendar. It's like, I'm going to the beach this week. Like I'm going to do this week. Like I'll have my shirt off all day. Like that's the date. I'm just locked in all summer. It's like once we get to football season again, there I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'm wearing a sweatshirt and I'm drinking beer. Yeah. All right. I mean, we have like a couple of minutes left. I don't know if there's anything that you guys want to talk about, anything that you've like felt good about, like annoyed about. Open mic here.
Man, everything's good.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit about the group chat. In the beginning, I think everyone was like so excited to meet everybody and like keep going. But at this point, I think it's dying down a little bit. And I think maybe it's a little post-contest fatigue, or, we've seen some people go in and out of the group chat. For me, it's hard. I'm doing stuff all day. Like by the time I read it, even if it's something it's like so aligned where I had something to say, it happened like 6 hours ago. And I'm
like Matt was saying, it's it's all fun and games, but now that the contest is over, it's like there's some white noise in there that I just don't. It doesn't benefit me. Like all the cakes and I get that, posting all the cakes and the cookies. That's where I'm like, that's the white noise. I'm like, man,
right.
But then, like you said, I'm working all day long basically, and then trying to get my landscaping business revenues, keeping that up to par where I have it right now. And sometimes I'm coming in and I'm like, dude, I push the down arrow and it is shuffling for like, it feels like 5 minutes. And I'm like, oh
yeah.
Like y'all were like second contest. And I was like, what the fuck are they talking? Excuse my language, what the heck are they talking about? Second contest. Like, I don't see nothing. I'm like, nah, there ain't no second contest. And then finally
seeing your picture on it.
Finally I'm like, oh, okay, there it goes. I'm like, I told my wife, I was like, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, but you better not be dangling the carrot like, you didn't win, but here's your picture on.
Right. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's the group chat's cool to jump in once in a while, but
for sure.
I'm not real good with group chats in general anyway. So
Jasper, one day you did like some type of AI summary of what happened, and I was like blown away. I was like, I need to do this more often.
I had no idea. I opened it up and it literally was like a little almost link there. And I clicked on it and it summarized exactly what you guys were talking about, but then it's not there all the time. So I have no idea why I got it and why it's done that a few times, but it was nice because of what we were talking about. Like I can't be in there all day. Like I got stuff to do. So that was cool. I don't know where it went or what happened to it or how I got it, but it'd be nice to know, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And it has been really nice being in the group chat with everybody, and like people have shared some of like their highest successes and also like their low lows. And I just wanted to say, like, John Jostin, I think is the last name. Great job. You posted 500 days sobriety.
Oh yeah. Heck yeah.
Like that is like
awesome.
So amazing. Like very recognizable. Steve also posted his sobriety, like stuff like that. Like it's so nice being around this group of killers, like everybody is always like pushing themselves to be better, work harder, make more money, be there for their family, be more intentional with their time. Like this is like a drug, this stuff.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. I mean, we can wrap up here. This was pretty good on the weekend.
I was going to say, what's the long, we talked about short term, like, what are you doing? But like, what's long term? I mean, I know typically this seems to be a cycle with some of you guys. Like, I know I haven't done this in years. I was the one who hooked Billy onto Corey and everything he does. Yeah. But I mean, it seems like everyone just cycles through like, oh, let's trash ourselves and then let's try. I want abs again next year for another car. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm going the Mike approach. Like, I'm never gonna need this again to do the transformation I had. Like, you're not gonna see me get to that point. So that's been my long-term goal here as well. We talked about, having dates on the calendar, but a big motivator for me is even like what G's said before is like, you're staying ready. You're ready within a week or two. So I don't know, me personally, I'll sign up just like Mike did, like Seth, you're having fun with it.
Yep.
But like I'll sign up for them, but don't expect me to ever even be in the running going forward.
Jasper, I'm so happy you saved this for the end of this, because I'd love to end these with like a food for thought type of thing. That's exactly right. Like at some point, the live longer mentality, be stronger for your life, like even G's talking about, he's like, I'm getting older. He's like, I want to be dialed. It's not about this cycle and stuff. Like, how do you stay in great shape all the time? And I think the AF lifestyle helps you do that. So I love that. I mean, anybody else want to chime in? This is the time.
Yeah, I would say that's where my mindset's at right now. I mean, I've been doing the contest too for like 5 years. It's always helped me get out of what I was in, or it's in the past. It's helped me focus on something that's not, my life currently, as it was, especially going through difficult situations and stuff. So this year's the first year I've done it where I'm actually out of that difficult situation, and it's more of like a building my business, building my marriage, building my church family. And so it's been a good process, as opposed to like something I leaned on when I was trying to ignore something else. And so, but like Matt said, I think it's just something where I feel like I want to just stay dialed in, not to say I'm not going to have some tacos once in a while, but you know what I mean? Like I said, I don't have any craving for pizza. I really don't have any craving for like, let me just ditch the whole weekend and drink Saturday and Sunday and eat nachos all day long. Like, hey, that's cool. I could do that. You know what I mean? I could do that. But I don't know. I'm just in, like I said, like Matt said, I'm in a dialed up mindset right now. And after seeing Matt posting about doing a contest, like a bodybuilding contest, my brother-in-law was like, dude, you should try like an amateur classic type contest, and they have a few down here. And I was like, well, maybe I might look into doing one at the end of the year.
That's awesome.
And and so I'm about where Matt's mindset's at. I'm done. Yeah. I'm done wrecking my body so I can try and win you know what I mean? I'd rather just stay dialed in and do the contest to have fun. And you know what I mean?
That cycle is like not good for the human body either, just to like put on a ton of weight, take off a ton of weight. Like, I feel like, keep progressing. That's
And sometimes when you let me wreck my body, in the pursuit of having a better result, you could be, I mean, me personally, if I'm going through something and I'm trying to wreck my body, like it just falls into line with that difficult thing I'm going through. And then I get stuck in it. I get stuck in like the comfort food, and I get stuck in the beer or whatever. And so it's like, nah, let me just stay on point and we'll ride it for as long as my mind can keep wanting to do it. So
good shit. All right. Well, this was awesome, guys. I'm really happy everyone was able to get together. I know it's middle of the day on a Saturday, but we find time. We're intentional. I think the group will appreciate this type of conversation.
Oh,
I'm Danny Sess. Let's go.
Yo.
Thanks, buddy.